Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I have put my little new plushie that I made within view. I'm pretty proud of that one. I'm not done. I still need to get glue down the felt, but that's the second plushie I've ever made in my life. I'm pretty proud, honestly. I mean, look at that. It's so cool, right? I'm excited. But I have a couple of things I wanted to go over today. Now really, it's just, I have a question and I need some help from you guys, okay? I have looked, I've read web pages, I've gone to reviews, and I can't seem to find an answer to my question, and it's driving me crazy. I have just a regular computer. It's not a Mac. I've worked with Macs before. I used to work for Apple, but I don't have one. Okay, so what I have is just a regular computer. It's a laptop. It's about 6 years old, and I'm hoping it'll keep working. But anyway, it's Windows 10. And right now I do all my stuff through Movie Maker, I think. Anyway, what I'm trying to do is I would like to either do one of two things because I'm really curious about it. I either would like to start to react to certain things. There are certain like videos that I've seen that I am very opinionated about, but I can't be opinionated because I can't understand how you put the video on the screen and then I sit next to it like, you know, like I am now, hello, and I react to it. I don't know what program you need to do that, and I've looked and I've worded it in different ways, and you know, I do have a learning disability, so you know, a little help, please. Can somebody help me, because I don't know what I'm doing and I really need some help with this. It's a steep learning curve on a lot of this stuff, and you know, I don't exactly have a lot of money to throw towards buying a program. I could save up for it, but you know, I was wondering if anybody knew of anything that I could use right now. And you know, any feedback I get would be greatly appreciated, and believe me, I would, you know, I'll shout out your name, I'll say thank you, I'll dedicate an episode to you, whatever you need. But I need some help. Okay, please help me, because I admit it, I'm a new content provider and I know what I'm doing here. I'm getting better at this. Obviously I still need finesse and there's things I could learn. I understand that. And you know, that's fair. But I do need to learn more about certain programs. And I have been having an awful lot of fun with, you know, making the cover pages. I just put weird random stuff on there and text, and I hope you guys don't mind. I don't think you mind too much, but it's fun, you know, so yeah. I wanted to ask for that help first of all, because oh my gosh, I am so frustrated. There are just so many things out there that are happening and I can't comment on them live. Like, I can't comment on them while they're playing in front of me. And I really want to. There's a lot of stuff out there that matters to me. And, yeah, I just, you know, I feel like I should be able to do this, but I just don't know how. So someone out there knows how to do it. Hold on. I have messaged some of my favorite content creators, but obviously they're really busy people and I know better than to just expect them to get back to me. You know, I'm not a Karen. I'm not going to sit there and be like, hello, are you going to reply to me immediately because I'm the most important person in the world? No, I don't work like that. But some people do. And those people, I'd love to comment on occasionally, because I grew up with one of those. That was my mother. She was like Queen Karen. Oh my gosh. Whatever you do, don't go out in public with that woman. Now, I know there are going to be people watching that going, but that's your mother. You should have respect for her. Yes, I know, and I do to a point. But when you go out to eat with somebody and they proceed to return their dinner 9, 10, 11, 12 times because it isn't right, and you're sitting there just trying to become the smallest thing in the room because it's just getting so embarrassing at that point. I was a generation before the cell phones, before the mobile phones. If I had had a cell phone or a mobile phone, believe me, I would have videotaped this stuff and showed you. My mother is Queen Karen. I'm not kidding. We are not on speaking terms because she's a just bona fide, amazing, huge, gigantic racist. And I don't want anything to do with that because that's just, that's not cool. Anyway, yeah. So, I was thinking, there's a lot of rules in this world that certain people like to follow. So here are my rules. These are rules in my world. And, I think they're fair. I do. My number one rule, honestly, is there is no racism. I will not tolerate any of that shit here. None. If there's somebody that thinks it's going to be okay to make a racist joke, it's not. If you think that you're going to be able to be passive aggressive about it, you won't. I won't put up with that crap anywhere. No. No, honey, no. There's no excuse to use it, and there's no joke that makes it funny. I have zero tolerance for that crap, period. I've had zero tolerance for racism since I could remember. It's just not cool. And I was raised by racists. They were unapologetic. They thought that Hitler was this guy to look up to. Yeah, as far as Hitler goes, to me, I always thought it was rather interesting that this guy who, professed this love for this Aryan ideology, right? That people are supposed to be this tall, with blonde hair and blue eyes. And they're being told this by this short little dude with brown hair and brown eyes, and he's a prick. Yeah, it makes total sense. Yeah, Yeah, your leader is the antithesis of what you're being told you're supposed to look like. Okay, yeah, right. Oh, and let me just make one other thing clear here. I know that there are neo-Nazi groups, and there are far-right extremists, and there's all this crap. You know what they are to me? Nazis. Every freaking one of them is a freaking Nazi. Fuck them. I'm not monetized at this point, and I hope I don't get banned for saying F you, but seriously, I have no patience for Nazis. And that's exactly what they are. They say the same things. They are not maybe going around physically murdering people the way they were en masse. But if given enough time, I think they would. And I think they would feel nothing for it. They would be just as remorseless as those bastards. Just as remorseless. So, anytime anybody says, they're far-right extremists, all I hear is Nazis. Oh, you're a neo-Nazi. No, honey. You're a Nazi. You're disgusting. And when I think about, some of the politicians going around saying, oh, well, you're making people wear masks. Well, that's just like where, remember the Jews, they used to make them wear the stars. No, you do not get to compare yourself to anybody that went through what they went through in World War II. Okay? No. There's no comparison. Just like there was apparently some dumbass on, where was it? TikTok, I think? talking about how the mask is just like what the slave muzzles were. No, it's not the same thing. Not even close. No, okay? They couldn't see. They couldn't eat. They couldn't take them off. They were horrible torture devices. All I see are a bunch of people who are used to a certain level of privilege that are having to be made, like, uncomfortable for a few minutes to go grocery shopping. Oh, you poor babies. Really? I'm sorry, but, I've been holding back on this particular, these feelings for a while. I have no patience for you guys. You're wearing a mask. Oh my gosh, you're so put out. Oh, you poor thing. Here, let me hold your hand and pat it. Oh, poor baby. Yeah. Really? Grow up. And if I hear anybody else compare themselves to, somebody from the freaking concentration camps, I'm just going to throw something at them. I am. Maybe it'll shake something loose. I don't know. But I can't take that anymore. There is nobody alive right now in the American political system on the streets in London who, has a job and lives in modern day society that is being forced to wear a mask that can compare themselves to anybody from a concentration camp. Just saying, if they're thinking about using that argument, you just look a fool. You really do. Okay. Number 2, please don't generalize a whole group of people. You don't know every single person in that group of people to make that kind of conclusion. If you did, fine. Okay, then you could make a distinction and say, I know every single person in that race of people, and they're all jerks. It's impossible, but if that were to ever happen, okay, fine. But until then, don't generalize an entire gender, an entire group of people based on the color of their skin. Don't generalize an entire religion unless you know the people that are in that group in their entirety. If not, then you're an idiot. I'm sorry, you're an idiot. I grew up with, again, my mother, she would say things like, oh, they're all like this. All black people are criminals. She would say that, not me. I would look at her and just tell her, oh, so every single black person on this planet? No. Well, how can you make that conclusion? She hated me. She hated me because I would say things like that. One thing about her that really made her mad is she would stand in front of the TV and just scream at it. And she'd say, oh, I wish they'd all go back where they came from. It gets worse. And this is hard for me to say. I don't even know how to say it without feeling gross. She'd say, I wish they would all go back where they came from and pick some, I don't know, I think it was somebody from Pakistan under each arm and then somebody in between their legs and just send them back where they came from. I mean, she got real colorful. It was gross the way she would describe this. So one time I caught her and, I may have mentioned this in some of my previous videos, maybe my first videos, I don't know, but she sat there and said that. So I looked at her and I knew I was going to be stirring a pot that was going to cost me pain. But you know what? Screw it. I looked at her and I said, okay, so would you like me to pack your bags or do you want me to, do it for you? Or do you want to do it yourself? Whatever. She turned and looked at me like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, you're an immigrant. You immigrated to America. Why don't you go back where you came from? Buddy, let me tell you, she turned about the color of the flower in my hair. Seriously, about that color. It was terrifying. I was hit and beat and everything you can imagine, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Worth it. Worth it. It was so worth it because I was living in a house that did not make any sense. And the minute I got old enough to, I left there. I ran away. I did. I was like 19 and I dragged my bags, 4 miles into town? They didn't have wheels in the bottom of this luggage. I dragged it. So, yeah, I had to get away from that place. It was awful. Anyway, this next rule that I have is something that, if the people in my life, my family, would have followed, I think they would have gotten along a lot better in life. Wait before you pass judgment until you have a greater understanding of the situation that you're in. Just wait. Look. Learn a little bit more. Make sure you're right. Because there's always more to it. Always. Always. Every time. You have to make sure that you are prepared and you know what you're talking about. You know of what you speak, in other words. But, man, I grew up with a hate factory, basically. A hate machine. That's all she knew how to do, was be angry and hate everybody that wasn't white, and it was really, really weird. And tell me what the logic on this last part is here, okay? If your parents hate everybody who isn't white, why would they move to a place that's 98% predominantly Hispanic? If you can come up with an answer for that, please let me know. I mean, unless they really wanted me to be a pariah. I don't know. But when I moved there, there was one girl in my class who was classified as white, and me. And I was told I was allowed to be friends with her. We didn't have anything in common. Yeah, it didn't really work out that well for me. So here I was, stuck in this town with parents who were completely unreasonable. So what did I do? I learned to live at the library and read books because that was a good escape. Ugh. I mean, I grew up in a house where I couldn't even watch TV shows that had black people in it. How stupid is that? Oh my gosh. Anyway. All right. One of my other rules is there is no excuse to hate someone because of who they love. Self-explanatory. There's no excuse to hate someone because they're transgender. Period. I don't even want to hear it. No. Even before I knew what it meant. Even before I knew what transgender meant. I recognized it in somebody I loved. I knew there was something going on. And I approached it as delicately as I could because I didn't know if I was right or not. And I didn't want to scare them. I didn't want to hurt them. But I thought, what if they are feeling this way and they're having to live this, So I asked them, I asked them very gently. I said, you don't like being a boy, do you? And the saddest thing to me was that they started to cry. And so, of course, what I do, comfort, I held them because I love them. Turns out I was right. And that right there is when I learned what transgender was. I guessed what it was. And there's nothing wrong with that except the way people treat them. There's nothing wrong with being transgender except the way people like to push their moral compass on these people without even understanding what the situation is in the first place. It's so stupid. It's like your moral compass is wrong. That's all I have to say. And, I have watched my friends and people I've known in life bloom when they become who they really are. You know, when they're finally able to escape that part of their body that didn't make sense, that was never meant to be there, and it always upset them. So, yeah, you know, have a little more compassion. You know, read more, educate yourself more. You know, it's not up to you to pass judgment on anybody. Anyway. Okay. I have a few more, but there really is no reason to hate somebody because of these things, okay? But if you see someone being bullied, okay, stand up for them. You don't have to confront the bullies, but stand with that person that's being bullied. Just stand with them. Shield them. Try to tell them that you're there, you know, you're there with them. They're not alone. You know, these kind of things are what they recommend anyway, you know. But don't let somebody suffer and be bullied all by themselves. It's awful. There's no excuse for it. I was bullied as a child. I was bullied in high school. There's no reason for it. It just makes you feel less than. But also remember that the people that are bullying, they're broken too. And you've got a lot of issues too. So, you know, confronting them isn't really going to help. The only thing you can do really is call the law. Videotape it, call the law, bring the evidence, show them what it is to be, you know, a decent citizen. Honestly. And if you need help in this world, ask for it. There's nothing wrong with asking for help if you need help. These are just basic rules in my life. This is what I think people should follow. And it doesn't hurt. And look, you know, in this life, people are going to disagree with you, and that's perfectly fine. That's just, you know, that's the way it goes. But how they disagree with you is what needs to be addressed. You know, you need to challenge them if it endangers you, if it threatens you or your family or your friends, or if it's if it's unreasonable. That's when you need to worry if somebody is disagreeing with you, you know, because it should always remain civil. Oh yay, there's a puppy. All right, well, I've taken up enough of your time, and I hope it hasn't been too discombobulated. You know, it's just, these are some things that are really important to me, and I'm probably going to do a few more rules in my world and things like that. But if I haven't offended you too much, hopefully, I don't think I shouldn't have, but if I haven't, please leave a comment down below and help me figure out how to react to videos, please, because I really would like to know. Okay, please help me. Yeah, I need some help with that. And somebody unsubscribed from me. I don't know why, but that kind of sucks, but okay. Anyway, if you are inclined, please subscribe though. I would love to have more people follow me. And if you have any questions, you can always ask them down below in the comments. And if you do subscribe, please subscribe to all the little notices, because I do try to put out a few videos when I'm feeling good. I have a lot of chronic health problems, but I will always try to put out content. And seriously, for my longtime fans and people that have been following me for a while, I can think of, you know, Gail. My gosh, you've been with me for a while. I love chatting with you. You're great. And by the way, I learned a new word because of you, Ned. I looked it up too. All right, so I'm gonna go. I will talk to you guys later, and try to find joy in your life. Kisses. Talk to you later.